My friend and I got catfished in Call of Duty many years ago, and this is the story of how it happened. Looking back on it, it's a pretty funny story. However, things could have been very different. Luckily, nothing bad happened to me, and this is pretty much the perfect example why you do not talk to random strangers on the internet and give your personal data. Bad idea. Don't do it, right? Learn from my experience. I also want to apologize if my video and audio quality are any bit different. I'm currently using a phone to record all of this because, well, I normally have a microphone, but my microphone is connected to a computer that doesn't exist. I came home from my vacation a couple of days ago, I turned on my computer, and it just gave me the blue screen of death over and over and over again. I don't know what's wrong. I can't use my computer, so yeah, I'm using my phone to record this, and I hope you guys don't mind. Anyways, if you do enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. With that being said, let's get into this. So, if you're watching this video and you're a little bit confused, you saw the title and you're just like, what's catfishing? Well, you need to know what this is, especially if you're younger age, okay? This is very serious and this is a big problem. There's people out there on the internet with bad intentions that pretend to be somebody else. So say you're 13 years old, you're a girl, right? You can get a message from a 13-year-old boy, and you might think it's a 13-year-old boy, but in reality, it's a 60-year-old man, right? And it's very easy for them to pretend that they're this boy because all they need to do is have this fake profile. You're not meeting this person in real life. They can put up this facade of being this fake person, right? This is why you never trust anybody that you see on the internet, especially if they're not being super specific with their details or they never send pictures or anything like that. They could very easily be somebody else, right? Back in 2012, 2013, when this story took place, I didn't know about this. I didn't know catfishing was a thing. I didn't know about the dangers of the internet. In 2012, social media wasn't that big. It was just Facebook at the time. MySpace had died out. Instagram wasn't a thing. Snapchat wasn't a thing. All these other social medias didn't exist yet, right? So people just had Facebook profiles and it was pretty tame in comparison to 2021. Back in 2012, I was a nerd. I didn't have any experience with girls at all. You might actually see this if you go back to some of my earliest YouTube videos from late 2013. It's honestly not that much different from what I was when this story took place. I was so cringe. I had no friends who were girls. I basically never talked to girls. Anytime I did, I was super awkward. I had this really high-pitched, nasally voice because I thought it made me sound cuter. Does this sound cute? I don't think so. And there was this one girl I was in love with so much at my school. To be fair, she was pretty. Everybody liked her, right? So it's not like I was the only one here, right? I loved her so much. Everybody knew this. They literally voted me and her as a joke as the king and queen of 8th grade. Okay? Alright? She hated me. She never wanted to talk to me, but I loved her so much, and everybody knew that, and they just did that as a joke. That yearbook photo where they had king and queen, they literally, I didn't even put my arm around her. I couldn't even put my arm around her. I was just standing there like a stick. Oh, it was so embarrassing, man. But this is the type of person that you're dealing with here in this story. I was such a nerd, okay? But hey, alright, back then I was pretty good at video games. I liked video games a lot. However, I didn't have a console. I just had a PC, that was it, and I played on my phone. I would have to go to my friend's house to play Call of Duty games. You know, the good old classic games, Black Ops, Modern Warfare, stuff like that, right? And there's this one kid that lives in my neighborhood who I would go to maybe like 3-4 times a week. We'd play Call of Duty a lot. Right? It was fun. We'd go into lobbies. We'd start screaming at other kids if they knifed us in a gun game. It was just a great time. I loved it so much. Back then, as I said, had no experience with girls. So when I went into this lobby one time, I don't know if it was Black Ops, Modern Warfare, who freaking knows what game it was. There was a girl one time. She had a username. It was like XXCuteGirl3. You know? The most basic username a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old girl would have. You know, obviously now in 2021, we'd probably say, oh, it's probably fake, right? But in 2012, 2013, I legitimately thought it was real. And after that match, my friend added this girl on Xbox, right? We'd start sending messages here and there. Very sporadic, you know, like 1 or 2 messages a day. Very simplistic. Hey, how are you? Good, what's your name? I'm Amanda. Oh, I'm Michael. Where do you live? Florida, Florida. You know, it just gets that simple, you know? Nothing more detailed than that. No more private information, stuff like that. And it was, you know, like one message a day, if that. After a while, we started getting comfortable, and we got pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool that we were talking to this girl. We started telling people at the school. We had a lot of other friends who were like part of the gaming group. We were all nerds, and everybody was just like, oh my god, that's so cool! You have a friend that's a gaming girl? That's awesome! Right? And then we started telling other people were like, yeah, it's pretty cool, you know? I thought I was rocking it, you know? I finally had a friend who was a girl. Okay? But eventually there was this one popular guy who had a lot of experience with girls who was like, you know what, Michael? I don't believe you. I don't believe you at all. You gotta show proof. Tomorrow, bring in some pictures of the messages, or else I'm gonna tell everybody that you're a liar. And I'm just like, oh my god, no, that's bad. That's really bad, right? It's real, I promise you. So my friend takes some pictures, shows it to this guy, because I didn't have a phone at that time. My friend did. Yes, I know, I was in 8th grade and I didn't have a phone, right? It's pretty embarrassing. But my friend takes the picture, shows it to this guy, and this guy immediately knows that it's not a real girl. He's like, dude, look at that profile picture. Are you kidding me right now? I could literally probably search 13-year-old girl on Google Images, and look, it's right here. It's right there. That's the profile picture. This is who you're talking to? Really? She's on Google Images? It's a stock photo. Are you kidding me right now, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, what? I've been talking to this person for an entire week and that's not what they look like? Are you serious right now? But my friend legitimately thought that that was just a coincidence, you know? Google was massive at the time. What, 200 million searches if you search something like that? And he's just like, oh, it's fine. She just happened to come up on page 1 of the search results. No big deal, right? She's pretty. It makes sense, you know? And I was just like in complete astonishment. My friend was in complete denial. And then after that point, well, he kept messaging this person. But eventually, at some point, we decided, you know what? One message a day, not really that great. We should probably add this person on Facebook. So, sends a message to this person, first off asking, what's the deal with your profile picture? I see, you know, when I search girl on Google Images, your picture shows up. It's a little bit sus, not gonna lie, right? And the girl literally responds, I'm famous. I'm famous. You might have seen me on TV shows before, but I can't tell you who I am. I'm famous and I have to use this fake profile picture so people don't know who I am. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, dude, are you kidding me? This is the most obvious fake thing in the entire world. But my friend is like, no, it's just a coincidence. She is famous, okay? And I'm just like, why would she be talking to us? Just us two nerds from Florida, middle of nowhere. Why would she be talking to us for an entire week? She has better things to do. And my friend is just like, no, it's a coincidence. She's real and she's famous, okay? So then he adds this person on Facebook. He says, well, actually first, he says, hey, can you add me on Facebook? And she literally says, no, I don't have a Facebook. If you're famous, you're gonna tell me you don't have a Facebook? Does that make any sense? But my friend still believed it. And he's just like, no, don't worry about it. You know, not everybody has a Facebook. Can you create one? And then that way we can add each other as friends. And she's just like, ah, sure, no big deal. So then when he adds her, she literally just has the same profile picture in like lower quality and then her name, you know, Amanda or Alexandra or whatever it is. And that's it. Nothing else. It just says Central Florida. And my friend is just like, oh my God, heart eyes emoji, heart eyes emoji. I live in Central Florida too, right? So then he starts messaging this person and saying, dude, I live in Central Florida too. We should try to meet up. And this girl is just like, yeah, I think we should. Where should we meet up? And they start trying to figure things out, right? They're like, oh, maybe SeaWorld, maybe Universal, maybe Disney World, Magic Kingdom, Epcot, you know, stuff like that, right? And then he tries to tell his mom. He's like, hey, Mom, I have a friend. She's a girl, and we want to meet at SeaWorld. Could you drive us there so we can meet her? And she's just like, no, it's expensive. I want to talk to this girl's parents first, right? And we're sitting there and we're just like stuck because we're like, shoot, we don't even know this person's parents either, right? We have to sort of figure things out. And so he messages this girl and says, hey, is there any way we can call her? And she says, no, I'm sorry, I don't have a phone, right? And that's a bit suspicious, not gonna lie. I felt like I was the only kid at that time who didn't have a phone, but at least it was believable. And I still had that little bit of hope that this was a girl. Maybe it just wasn't the same girl that we were talking to, right? Because this person texted like a girl, at least according to the popular guy that I was talking to at school a few weeks earlier, right? So I thought maybe it was some type of girl that I was talking to, and I still thought that was cool. Maybe I could just at least be friends with this person, even if this person isn't the prettiest person in the entire world, right? Good morals. Be friends. You don't always have to have a girlfriend, okay? Right? But we try to figure things out, asking where this person can meet up, stuff like that. We decide on SeaWorld, I think it was, right? And then this girl literally says something along the lines of, hey, I don't like Facebook Messenger. Is there any way that you could add me on Kik? Kik Messenger. You guys might not know what Kik is if you're younger. Kik is basically the precursor to stuff like WhatsApp and Telegram and Uvu and Snapchat and all this other stuff like that, right? It was pretty cool, but the problem is this person seemed to forget that she didn't have a phone, and Kik was an app that you had on your phone, right? I realized this. My friend didn't. He was just like, oh, she must have forgotten that she had a phone. And I'm just like, are you kidding me right now? This doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So they eventually add each other on Kik, and we tried calling this girl. It's like 8 p.m. on a summer's night. It's summer at 8 p.m. in Florida. She picks up and says, oh my god, guys, I'm so sorry. I'm in class. I'll call you back later. Bye. Boop. Bam. I'm like, dude, it's summer. It's 8 p.m. No one's in school at nighttime. And my friend is just like, oh, well, maybe she goes to a different school. You know? Oh, you didn't think about that. And I'm just like in complete bewilderment. My friend is in such denial. He still thinks that this is an actual girl that we are talking to, right? But the thing that we didn't notice is this girl had a very weird voice, right? Since I didn't have that much experience with girls, I didn't realize that this person was actually using one of those voice-changing filters that makes your voice sound like a girl. Like, I'm pretty sure you've seen those trolling videos a lot of times, where maybe somebody jumps into a battle royale match in like Fortnite or PUBG, right? And they pretend that they're a girl, right? And then you get all the creepy kids in the global chat that are like, ooh, wow, hey, I want to team up with you, you know? And then she kills them, and then it's funny, you know? Well, this is what this person was doing, and I just didn't realize it. My friend didn't as well. At least I knew this person was fake, but my friend finally started to have a bit of a doubt. He's just like, okay, you know what? It's kind of weird that she's in Florida and she is in school. That doesn't really add up, you know. Our little 12-year-old brains with about 3 brain cells were starting to crank at a bit higher gear. We're going into second gear finally, right? And so eventually, I'm like, all right, I have an idea. Have you ever heard of something called the *6-7 method? If you use *6-7 and then type out a phone number on an iPhone, it's going to come up with no caller ID on the other person's phone, right? So you don't know who calls them, right? So we call this number, *6-7, her phone number, right? She doesn't pick up. We get sent to voicemail, and the voicemail literally says something like, hey, this is John. You got me at a wrong time. Sorry about that. Well, just leave a message after the beep. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And we're just sitting there and we're just like, what? It's a guy. That's not a girl. That's the weirdest thing ever. My friend still had that sliver of hope. He's like, no, wait. Maybe it's her dad. It's probably her dad. She said she doesn't have a phone, but I'm like, she's messaging on Kik. Who uses Kik on their parents' phone? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever, right? It just doesn't work. It doesn't add up at all, right? So, funny enough, at that point in time, his mom walks in. His mom walks in maybe 10 seconds after we do that phone call because we were all screaming and being like, oh my god, that's the craziest thing ever. She wanted to see what all the noise was. And she's just like, hey, what's going on? And we were just like, oh, we were calling this girl. And she's, before we could finish talking, she's just like, oh, is that the girl that you were telling me about? Here, put me on the phone with her. And we're just like, no, but she didn't pick up. And she's like, oh, she'll pick up for me, right? And his mom, is just like, puts on the glasses and she's just like, yes, she's gonna pick up for me. So she calls, right? And when she gets on the phone, she puts it on speakerphone because she just thinks she's gonna be talking to this girl. And this person picks up with the high-pitched, weird voice that we heard earlier. And she's just like, hello? Hello? Is this Michael? And me and my friend are just like, oh, hi. Was that your dad that answered earlier? And then she starts literally saying, yeah, that was my dad. And I just wrote down. And her voice literally started like failing. The voice filter was dying, okay? You know, and it's just starting to mix between this girl's voice and this old guy's voice. And it's the weirdest thing ever. And then eventually it just cuts out. But since this person's speaking on the other end, he doesn't know what he's saying, right? So he still thinks he's talking as a girl, right? And he's just sitting there and he's just like, yeah, I go to blah, blah, blah school. Not too far. You know, it's right in the Central Florida area. I'm 13 years old, blah, blah, blah. You know, he just goes on and on and on. And his mom is just like, she literally just like puts the phone, end call, and just puts it down. And just sits there and is like processing what just happened. And she's just like, you are grounded for a very long time. You know, and she just starts yelling at my friend. She's like, you idiot, what's wrong with you? You don't talk to random people on the internet. Do you realize what could have happened? This person that you were trying to meet and you were telling me about earlier, blah, 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 blah. She starts yelling and yelling, and my friend is sitting there like, oh my God, I didn't know. And I'm just sitting there like, my mom just called, it's dinner time. I gotta go. Sorry, see ya. And I just head out. I'm out, right? I get on my bike, I ride home, and that's it, right? I think my friend got grounded for like a month, probably no phone, maybe no Xbox. It's probably the more likely scenario, but that's basically it, right? We never know what happened to that person. He unadded this person on Facebook, removed and blocked this person on Kick, and that was it. Maybe I happened to pass by this person along the side of the road later on down the line, but hey, you know what? I'm alright, my friend was alright, and that's the end of the story. This is the exact example why you do not start talking to random people on the internets. And if my story had any, like, grasp on your brain, please be very careful with what you do on the internet from now on. I hope this was a funny story, but it also shows how vulnerable people can be, right? So just be careful, alright? And I hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe down below if you'd like to see more life stories like this. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all later.